Little Victory's here, and I'm back with kind of a different kind of video. In this video, I'm going to give you a grading tip, and it's involving centering and measuring. You know, I want you guys to get those good grades. I want you to get Gem Mint 10s. So I'll be going over PSA's grading standards, their guidelines for Mint 9s and Gem Mint 10s. So, you know, and I'm making this video because I've been getting a lot of comments saying they can't believe some of these cards in my reveals are getting Gem Mint 10s. You know, the centering is so bad. And I completely understand. I honestly, looking at them, you know, eyeballing them on a video, I would say the exact same thing. So, but what people forget about the PSA standards, and it's one very important fact, that a Gem Mint 10, there's an allowance for a 60-40 centering. I mean, that's pretty big. So, today I'll kind of measure some cards that were kind of in question in my videos, and I will show you the percentage and why they got Mint 9s or why they got 10s. So, you know, let's first go over the key facts in a PSA 10 standard. So, it says 4 perfectly sharp corners, you know, sharp focus, original gloss. Okay, but now the main thing, the centering tolerance. It's not to exceed 55-45 to 60-40 on the front. So 60-40, that's huge. And then on the back, it's 75-25. Not a lot of cards are going to go below that. But so, and also, it can have a slight printing imperfection as long as it doesn't impair the overall appeal of the card. So that's why sometimes you'll see cards with a little surface dimple and stuff like that. Okay, so for Mint 9, it says, you know, minor flaws, minor printing imperfections, but the centering tolerance it's actually pretty, you know, similar to the Gem Mint 10, but the main difference is that the tolerance is 60-40 to 65-35, so you get that kind of extra 5% there on the front. So, and then on the back you get extra too. It's 90-10. So let's just get started, and I will start measuring some cards. I already did all the measurements to save some time, otherwise it would take forever. You can just use a straight up old school ruler, you know, one that has the millimeters. It's about 40 millimeters per inch, or you can just do centimeters, you know, right there. So I'm going to go ahead and just do centimeters to save some time. It's much easier to measure cards out of the slab. So I recommend before you grade, if you're concerned about a centering issue, just go ahead and measure it before you grade it, obviously, so you can get a better feel for it. So this card was in question, so I totally get that. Look at it. So this was my original card. I got graded, so I know exactly about everything about this card. So you would say very thin on the left as opposed to the right. So top to bottom looks good. Back looks pretty good. So you would measure this left side. And on the Bosch, right here, on the Bosch it was 3 centimeters on the left. And then it was about 4 centimeters on the right. So then it's just simple basic math. See, what you're going to do is add 3 plus 4 is 7. So then you take the lowest, the thinner side, which was 3, and then divide that by 7, which equals 42%. So that's within the 40%, and that's why I think it got a 10. So I'm thinking on these, on the cards that get the centering, you know, closer to the 40% allowance, I'm thinking the grader in PSA know that all the other attributes of the card need to be flawless, need to be perfect. You know, that's how I would grade. So, and on this card, everything was, the corners, centering, not one surface scratch. Everything was perfect other than that centering. So that is my belief of why it got a Gem Mint 10. So I hope that helps. I'll keep doing some more. This was a Jalen Hurts. As you can see, it's a little, looks thicker on the left. See that? Than the right. So kind of the same as the Bosch. In this case, when I measured it, it was 3.5 centimeters on the left and 2.5 centimeters on the right. So that equals 6. 2.5 divided by 6 equals 41%, give or take. So it's within. And like the Bosch, it was flawless other than that. Top, bottom centering looks good. The back looks good. Corners, everything good. So that's why that one got a 10. We'll do the Freddie Freeman. We'll do a 9. Why it got a 9. So these cards are pretty easy to grade. This is from 2011, Freddie Freeman rookie. Flawless card other than the centering. You can see it's thinner on the bottom than the top, and also a little thinner on the right than the left. So when I measured it, it was 3.5 on the top and 2 on the bottom, actually. So that equals 5.5. 2 divided by 5.5 is 36%. So that is below the 40% threshold. So we got a mint 9 on this one. So that's accurately graded. Okay, next is the this is an interesting card. I love these 84 tops. This is the Eric Dickerson rookie card. So I'm gonna explain the tilted. I call it a tilt center, and it's very common on 80s cards, especially this 84 football set. So the tilted Darryl Green, I call it. So do you see how, look right here, this left and the right, the top left and top right, it's perfect. I measured it. It is 50-50, perfect. But then you go down to the bottom, look, much thicker on the right than the left. So that's the tilt I was talking about. So you're gonna want to measure, they're not gonna go by the 50-50, they're gonna go by this bottom tilt. So I measured this, and it was, let's see, 2.5 centimeters, and then this right was like 4. So, you know, that equals 6.5. So 2.5 divided by 6.5 equals 38%. So there you go. That's below the 40, and that will most likely get a mint 9, unless they really just don't like the tilt to it. Darryl Green. But also in the set, the Eric Dickerson, sorry, dog hair. The centering looked off top to bottom, looked thinner on the top than the bottom. Also slight tilt cut, slight, you can kind of see it. So I measured it up, and it was like 2.5 centimeters on the top and about 3.5 on the bottom. That equals 6. 2.5 divided by 6 equals 41%. So that was actually within. It could have got a 10 based on centering. But in agreement, I agree with this grade here, because unlike the Hertz or the Bosch, this card wasn't flawless. You know, it's an old card, so it has a little, it's called snowing, when you see a little white flecks off the paint here. So a little bit of that. I mean, a lot can go wrong with a 1980s card. So I'm thinking that's why they gave it a 9. So I'm okay with that. All right, let's do a few more. We did the tilted green. Let's do a hard modern one. More modern. We're gonna do this, not the Singletary yet. We're gonna do the Doncic Silver Prism Rookie. Let's see here. Okay, very cool card. You know, it's great looking. It'll be an iconic image. He'll be a Hall of Famer down the road. But okay, as you can see, these ones are hard to center up and measure because it's not the traditional centering. So there are 2 important measurements you need on these 2018 prisms. And one is the gaps, the spacing from this top and this left edge, okay? So I measured them, and the, let's see, the top left right here got 3.5, or wait, yeah, I got 3 centimeters on the left, and it got 1.5 centimeters on the top. So 1.5 divided by 4.5 equals 33%. And that is actually below the 35% mint 9 threshold. So a grade of an 8 is accurate on this. It would grade an 8 based on the centering. I actually graded this with Beckett, and they gave it a 7.5. As you can see, I cracked it out because I was just so mad about it. But I kept it in there, little slab, or their little plastic sleeve thing. You know, I think Beckett sometimes hammers the centering a little more than PSA. But also go back to this point. Like I said, there's 2 measurements you need. The next one is you want to measure from the inside borders. This line, this border right here. See that? With that border right here. So the inside border of the Donsik. So you're measuring from here to here, and then here to here. Yeah, so this measurement measured about 7 centimeters on the left and about 4 centimeters on the right. So that equals 11. When you add together, so 4 divided by 11 equals 36%. So that one kind of would have been close within the mint 9, but it doesn't matter. You're already knocked down to an 8 with that 33%. So that is kind of how you grade these 2018s. They're hard, and they're notorious for being off-centered, especially these. So look at these gaps, make the measurements. You can kind of see, I wanted to give you a good example of a 2018 prism. So see, these nice gaps are perfect. Right here and here, and then right here to here to here to here. It looks good. That's the LeBron. Okay, we'll just do a few more quickly. I wanted to show you an 8, why this card got an 8. So it's the Singletary. You can tell it's off on the left to the right. Other than that, it was sharp, pack, pulled, fresh. It looked good. But is an allowance of a mint 9. So 2 centimeters on the left, 4 centimeters on the right, which equals 6. 2 divided by 6 is 33%. No, it is not. That's below the 35%, which is why it got an 8. So accurate. Good job, PSA. And we'll do some back centering, because we haven't done some back centering. We got... And I'm picking these 1986. I love the set, by the way. I have a set going on the PSA set registry. And they're notorious for having off-center back centering. So the front looks great. This is such a good looking Magic Johnson card. I kept it because, you know, I love keeping great looking mint 9s. And this one, I've tried twice to try to bump it with PSA. I've cracked it out twice, and still a mint 9. So they are set on giving this one a 9. And I don't know. I wonder if it's the eye appeal of the back of the card centering. So as you can see, thinner to the right than the left. Look at that. But is it enough to knock it to a 9? Let's measure real quick. So I did measure it, and it was about 4 centimeters on the left, 2 on the right, so which equals 6. 2 divided by 6 is 33%. So that's within a Gem 10. You know, I think it was 25%. So that's not the thing that's knocking this card. I'm not sure what. Also, I have a great looking Dumars. But I always wondered, there's nothing wrong with this card, other than a slight difference on the centering. It looks maybe a little thicker on the top than the bottom. I did measure it quickly, and it got 3.5 centimeters on the top, 2.5 centimeters on the bottom, which equals 6. And then 2.5 divided by 6 is 41%. So it's good enough for a 10, actually, the centering. Barely, but it's good enough. So they must have saw another kind of imperfection that brought it down. Most likely you're not going to be allowed 2 imperfections if you're, you know, if you're hovering around that 40%. So yeah, that's my measuring, centering, little knowledge for you guys. Thanks as always for watching my videos. I should have more tip videos coming in the new year.